What's up, investors? Ken here from the Dyslexic Investor, and we got two stocks that kind of came up on my radar. We're going to be looking at that kind of due to a potential bearish play, because a lot of people are like, hey Ken, you're very bullish. It's actually, I'm kind of a closet bear sometimes. Closet bear meaning I kind of crack the door open and I look around if I see anything, an opportunity to be bearish on. Alright, so that being said, we're just going to do a quick overview of SPY. This is the Standards & Poor's 500 index. Closing out Friday, we had a downturn, closing down lower than the previous candle, so that potentially signs of more downturn coming in Monday. Again, this is Sunday afternoon. We don't know what's going to happen Monday till the futures kind of open up this evening. But the 5 crossing into the 8, and then the 8 potentially crossing into the yellow 8 to 21. These are all exponential moving averages. That could be a potential kind of a swing and a riggy to do. You kind of saw that here. Once the 5 crossed into the 8, you kind of had a huge gap down, which I think this could happen on Monday. Again, the markets anything can happen. You just got to have a game plan, and then be ready for anything to happen. Just to have any scenario come about. We could open up at new all-time highs if everyone in the United States gets a tax credit of $30,000 or whatever. I don't know. You can make anything can happen, right? The thing is, you just have to react to what the market gives you. Don't try to put your spin on the market. That's the very most important thing. So that being said, and we're humans, and I get emotional all the time, especially with the market. Anyways, so gapping down here, this could potentially happen here. It did stay above, it closed above the 21, which is good, but that doesn't mean that it can't still go down. If you look at a longer time, this is the daily for 1 year. I kind of drew this like weird trend line here that kind of bounced off here. We haven't touched this in quite some time. We potentially could come down to, I'm thinking this on SPY, at 330, so 3 more points lower where we were Friday, which is very much a potential because it seemed like we had resistance here before. And let me just highlight that for you guys. I like to highlight things with a circle, oval, sorry. That can be highlighted there, kind of right here too. So this is actually the 34 exponential moving average. So that kind of is also between the 34 and the 21 exponential moving averages. They're kind of depending on what hedge fund or what momentum fund you're working at and kind of figuring out, they use either one of these two to consolidate and buy positions. Once these start going south and crossing over, the hedge funds and those money guys are gone out. Bye-bye. Alright, so I ran a scan, which I should share some of my scans later on. But 2 companies came up that kind of I didn't know much about. The first one we're going to talk about is Goose, the Canadian Goose. Didn't know much about this company until I looked into it. And I see it all around where I work here in Virginia, in Northern Virginia. So that being said, it's Canadian Goose. They make high-end winter apparel. So they have been told it's comfortable, it's very fashionable, but it's expensive. So we can just look up here at some of these coats, like this boy's this raincoat, whatever it is, $800. This is not really a cup of tea for Ken here because I do all my clothes shopping at Costco. You heard it. This is $300 for a V-neck sweater. This vest is $525. You kind of see the back and forth here. Like it's a very high-end luxury brand, and I don't resonate with these kind of brands quite well. So that being said, it's no disrespect towards the company, but these are just super high prices for coats. They're supposed to have the best products entailed. So if we go here to their craftsmanship, the company's been around since 1957. They make wonderful precision products. They're parkas. There are some articles out there that this right here is real Coyote, I believe. That's what I read. Coyote. They're using Coyote for those jackets, but they use high-end precision works. This company hasn't been too far about on the stock market. We're going to look at that in a second. That being said, I can summarize this company in like 3 words. High-end fashion company, trend. All right. So this is my thesis. Again, I'm projecting my opinion on here. This is on the daily chart. It has been going down basically since its high. This is due to multiple factors of the company just not having the greatest performance. We've had a substantially warm winter this year. And again, they make winter gear. Like, it's not like Canadian Goose Speedos. It's on a downtrend. Let's be honest here. Looking at the charts, we're going to go further out on a weekly chart. So the company came public. Let me go. How far can I go out? Yeah, so okay. On a weekly chart, basically came out of April of 17-ish. Kind of traded around $15, bounced around, kind of went up a little bit, got some trend, probably bought some influence likes, and then just kind of rose up through the ranks and kind of traded sideways. Again, a lot of volume around earnings, a lot of volume around here, more volume around earnings. As you see, the big volume is by Giskin. This is on a weekly chart. Basically, where we're at now is at $30. So the height of everything was basically the high of November. This is 18, November 18. So 11, 12, 18, 2018 was the height, all right? And ever since then, it's got a haircut and a half, falling from $72 down, closing at last Friday at $30. And you see even on the weekly chart, we've broken below the 200. We have the yellow most likely going to be crossing over the 200, which is and very, very not well perceived and potential a lot of issues. That being said, this is still continue on a downtrend. I want to kind of draw. There was a way to automate this, but I forget how to. I need to figure that out again. Boom, boom. Basically here, I'm gonna call that. I'm gonna call this that, and we're gonna draw. Oh, where's the draw button? And then this. Okay, that's not really working for me. So it's kind of trending down. You can see that very well in all the moving averages. Let's actually break it back to a daily chart. Okay, well below the 200. The times it's trying to get above the 200, it has failed. So if it ever gets to the 200 again, and it's not most likely November, October-ish, you probably should short it. This is my honest opinion. I want to see what kind of happens. I want to look into this a little bit more before I start putting on some bets on this, on being on the short side. Here, I'm going to bring this to this chart here. And you can kind of see here, we can go further out in the weekly chart. Just here, the trend is just substantially lower. This is not the most bullish pattern in the books. A lot of crossovers of moving averages and just constantly pointing down. On top of, which I don't honestly care about a lot of times, but there's a lot of negative press about this due to the products they use on their craftsmanship, doing air quotes there, and then their overall their overall business model on how they deal with a warm winter, and is this just a trend, and the next year's coat is going to be called platypus coats. Yeah, the Australian platypus coats, they make winter coats in Australia. Whatever, I'm not sure, but that being said, this is pointing towards a downtrend. This kind of came up on a pro-sell dots on my trend line here. And you kind of see here, this is a 4-hour chart on a daily. I kind of made some parameters of, like, if it gets up back to $33.26, particularly how it gets there, I want to probably put on a short. If it breaks through this, I kind of missed it. Because it's been beaten up quite a bit. It's been beaten over the head a lot. We can look at the standard deviation here. Nothing to the most extreme. So potentially even from here we can drop down to 27. Again, I'm making this video because I think it's going to drop significantly more. I might be buying some longer dated puts on this, maybe a year or two out at like the $20 or $15 level. That's probably what I'm going to be doing, so I can just define my risk of maybe paying a couple bucks, $200-300 for that put, and then potentially cash in once the stock follows my particular thesis of going down. All right, so that is that chart. The next one we're going to go to and bring up the website right here is called The Real Real. It is real. Again, this is another high-end luxury company, but they actually don't make anything. They're a thrift shop, or a consignment shop for luxury items. So they have everything from watches, jewelry, furniture, coats, sneakers, all this high-end stuff on their websites for people to buy. And they have the authentic people. Check a lot of them out. They have a lot of people that used to work at Gucci, Louis Vuitton to check out their bags. So you can kind of see here, this is kind of the way it's set up. You can go through whatever gender you are or category and go through what you're looking for. Like, I can buy these Louis Vuitton thong sandals for $285, but I don't want those. So, but again, this is not my cup of tea, but this is the company behind basically bringing the new age of consignment shops. And looking at, that's an awesome shirt right here. What the heck? On hold? Dang nabbit, those are some sick shirts. Anyways, yeah, like, I don't know anyone, but again, like I said the previous time about Canada Goose, is I do a lot of my shopping at Costco. Like, get my chicken, get my eggs, get my milk, get my pants, right? And I use Stitch Fix, which actually is a great company, and we'll do a breakdown on that in some time. But that being said, The Real Real, it kind of came up on a sell alert for me. I kind of looked at the website. I kind of did some Googling around. Some of the analysts are bearish, some of the analysts are bullish. It's kind of a mixed set of cards there. I don't know where it's going to go, but let's go ahead and run to the charts. And this ticker symbol is quite easy, just called REAL. And if I could type it in, REAL. The Real Real Incorporated. So this is actually, it's not been on the market as long as Goose. This basically came out public of last summer as well, and it has been nothing but going down. This is on a weekly chart. You kind of see here, this has just been trending substantially lower. So I just did a Fibonacci retracement, and everyone knows in Fibonacci retracement the 618 is a very key point, and it has not been able to close above this for a long time. So, and it's been on a weekly chart, it's been way below its 200. So let's bring it back to the daily. Again, on the daily, has not been able to break above its 200 here. So this is quite significant in telling the story. It's kind of making a comeback here, trying to make a little cave here, a little curvature, a little cup and handle, whatever you want to call it. But I feel like this might just be continually trading sideways, and then coming in its earnings report on the 25th. So that's Tuesday of next week. So 2 days away, they have earnings. This is something else that I'm be looking at for a potential short. I don't know exactly how they do their business and how they make money. I'm sure they take a percentage of all the sales, but they're really heavily working on the markets of everyone else. Not saying I want to short this one right away, because this pattern is a consolidation, and that kind of can scare me, because you can see this here. It consolidated for nearly 2 months before it kind of broke down. Again, buying probably puts on this, very long dated leaps, is probably your best bet if you decide to short this. But that being said, for the potential short term, this could pop off a little bit. And the reason I say that is because the 5 and the 8 are curving up, and they're about to cross over the 21. And you can kind of see that happen here. Let me get this out of the way real fast. You can kind of see that happening. Oh, sorry. I'm going to draw a square this time. Right here, where the 5 and then the 8 crossed over, and then you had a nice pop off. Again, this can most likely happen all the way up to here. So I actually want to create alert actually up here. So if it can make it up here, and everything is kind of like consolidating, and we'll see what happens, right? We'll see what happens. This is also kind of on my list of like, the Goose is more, the Canadian Goose, or GOOS, is more on a bet I'll do probably next week, or let's just want to see how everything plays out in the market. If it continues to sells off, it's probably going to be hard to get a put at a very decent price, especially those long dated leaps. Probably the volume's not going to be great. Anywho, that this is going to be on my list to potentially look at a short position, and of course what I want to be looking at is probably the 12 or 13 level. Again, this is only a $15 stock, but if it has a nice run up, I would like to add to that position on that run up. Let's go to the standard deviation. Yeah, I want to add to that once it potentially, if it breaks out of this 3 deviation channel here, I probably want to add this position for sure. This is my honest opinion. This is what I would do, and we'll just go from there. Again, guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for the subs. Thanks for the likes. Again, this is Ken from the Dyslexic Investor, and I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Peace.